Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be telling you guys all about my faves and flops from the months of July and August. I decided that I wanted to start doing this as an every other month kind of thing because I don't try that many new products and I wanted to be able to really get a feel for something before I tell you whether or not it's a favorite or I absolutely fucking hate it. And I obviously as well will link all of the videos that are associated with any of these products in the eye and down below as well so that you guys can see me applying them, see them, you know, in action and everything like that. So first things first is the One Size by Patrick Starrr Go Off Makeup Removing Mist. I love this product. It is so good. So basically what it is it's just a collection of oils in an aerosol container, so like a hairspray, like the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist, and you just spray it on your face and then you rub it in and you wash off your face, and it takes off makeup so well. It is so easy to apply. I don't feel like I'm wasting a lot of product. I've used quite a bit of this. I've used it several times since the video where I first tried it, and it still has quite a bit of weight to it. It doesn't feel like I've used a lot of it, so that's awesome. It doesn't leave my skin feeling stripped. It doesn't leave my skin with a weird residue behind. It just takes off the makeup. It gets it done. It's so good. I highly recommend getting that. He also, I just saw on Sephora, released like a mini version. So if you're interested in trying it but you don't want to get the bigger bottle, definitely try the mini version. Next up, I kind of cut one of the boxes so that it would fit into my drawer. But these are the Allure Luxe XL Foam Ink Lashes. These are in the style Splendor and these are in the style Indulgence. These lashes are so good. They're only like $12, I want to say, and they're so long. They are so dramatic. They're gorgeous. Obviously they're not going to be for everybody, but I love really long dramatic lashes and these are perfect. The way that they're held in here too just shapes them so perfectly for the eye. I literally, like, I put the glue on, I let it dry, and they plop right on. I don't have to fiddle with them too much, and I think these lashes are really good. And I've worn them quite a few times since the first time that I tried them, and they're holding up really well, so that's a really good sign. Next up is the Maybelline Glass Skin Spray. So this spray is exactly what it says it is. It makes your skin really dewy, really shiny, kind of a glass skin effect on the skin, hence the name glass spray. I love dewy sprays. I use a lot of sprays in my routine. I will link my in-depth base tutorial if you guys are interested in seeing how many sprays I use because it's kind of absolutely ridiculous. But this one is new to me, new-ish to me. And like I said, I love dewy sprays. Some of them are more effective than others. Some of them are too much. Some of them are not enough, in my personal opinion. I think that this one is perfect. It has oil in it, so it's not a spray that I would recommend necessarily spraying onto your skin when you already have eyeshadow done. I'm going to spray it on for you guys because my face isn't too dewy right now, so I kind of want you guys to get an idea of what it looks like. I'm going to maybe go to the grocery store, so like if my eyeshadow creases, then my eyeshadow creases, I'll live. So it kind of comes out in like one big puff, and it's shorter bursts of sprays compared to some other sprays that are out on the market, but it's fine. It's a very fine mist too, which is nice, but I just shake it really well, and then I can't place what the fragrance of this is. It's not an overpowering scent by any means, but it has a very recognizable smell to it that I can't quite place. But it just looks so good on the skin, especially the forehead. Like, it's not completely dry yet, so don't be like overwhelmed. But it just looks really good. It's got a good dew to it. It just feels really good. I can say that there have been times that I have gone overboard with this spray And after it dried, I was able to just take my powder and just kind of like press it over my skin, and nothing kind of layered funky. It all layered nicely and didn't go too crazy. So that's good that you can layer over it with powder if need be. Next up, I will talk about these two together because they're from the same collection. These are the BH Cosmetics Belgian Waffle Bronzer and Highlight Palette, and then the Bellini Blush Palettes. So this is what they look like on the inside. So 3 bronzers, 3 highlights, and then 6 blushes. The formula on these are so good. The blushes are really pigmented, but it's very easy to kind of just dip in once and just go really light-handed with it. They're very, very, very pretty. Let me swatch a couple for you guys. So that is what they look like. I love warm tone blushes. I love pinky blushes. I love this shade range of blushes. I also really love this really light pinky one right here. It's actually really good for me for toning down if I go a little bit too crazy in here. But I think that this palette is absolutely worth it. It also comes with a mirror. Inception. And then for the bronzer palette, also comes with a mirror, and it's got 3. They're not the greatest expansion of shades when it comes to bronzers, I will admit that, but they are pigmented in the right kind of way. They're not crazy overly pigmented. They just kind of blend really easily on the skin. They're really soft, really easy to work with. The star of this palette, though, are these highlights. They are so... I skipped one. They are so incredibly shiny, but they don't accentuate texture. They just glide onto the skin. They look so, so, so pretty. So I definitely highly recommend those 2 palettes. Next up is a product that is a little throwback to my very first YouTube video. This is the NYX Bear With Me Daily SPF Primer. It has SPF 30 and it also has cannabis sativa seed oil in it. I originally had tried this out as a straight primer. I believe that actually in that video I was already wearing SPF. I just tried it as a primer. To me, this is more like a daily SPF. I was noticing... Honestly, I was noticing it when I was editing my videos that the SPF that I had been using for years and years and years and years and years had started kind of balling up along my jawline. It was really weird. I don't know if they changed something in the formula. I don't know what happened, but it was getting real funky. So I originally had started looking online to see, you know, what can I get that I can replace it with. Either things didn't have good reviews or they were really ridiculously expensive. And then I was like, I already have this. Why don't I start using this? So I have incorporated this into my routine as a daily SPF and I adore it. One awesome perk about this as well is the fact that it is a lot bigger than your standard primers, especially considering it's being sold as a primer. This is 2.5 ounces. Your standard primer is 1 ounce. Yeah, so this is 2.5 ounces for $17, whereas the CeraVe AM SPF that I used to use is 3 ounces for $18 or $19. So really close in price and size. This one's a little bit smaller, a couple dollars cheaper, but this is awesome. I don't notice it giving me a white cast on the skin. It gives me just a really nice, soft glow. It sinks into my skin really well. It's really hydrating. It obviously has SPF 30, which is exactly what I wanted to use it for. So I highly recommend this if you are looking for a good, affordable SPF that doesn't leave a white cast. This is the Smashbox Vitamin Glow Primer. This is a primer that has vitamins B, C, and E in it. It smells a little bit citrusy. It's like kind of like a gel formula. The texture reminds me a lot of the Smashbox Primerizer, that kind of hydrating gel formula. It leaves behind just a little bit of a glow, but I particularly like this because I know that it has good vitamins in it, and that way the vitamins are soaking into my skin all day long. But this primer is awesome. I love the packaging. I love I just love everything about it. I think that it's a really, really good primer. It does leave the skin just a little bit tacky. My makeup sits really well on top of it. I definitely highly recommend that primer. And then on the cheaper side of things, this is the e.l.f. Glow Primer Stick. So it's literally just a giant stick that you kind of smear on your face. It has coconut and shea butter in it. So this is another primer that is hydrating. It's a little bit sticky, which is good because it grips your makeup on. And it does leave behind just a little bit of glow. My only piece of advice with this specific product is you kind of have to work in sections. So what I do is I draw it onto one side, I'll blend it in. I'll go to the other side and I'll blend it in, and then I'll do my forehead and I'll blend it in. It does dry pretty quickly, so you definitely want to work in sections so you're not just left with like sections of primer and not primer on your skin. But it is a really, really good primer. It feels really good on the skin. It's kind of cooling. I really, really, really like this. Next up is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Norvina Volume 1 Mini Palette. I kind of picked this up on a whim. It was on sale at Ulta for like $14, and I was like, why not? This shade in the middle is so, so, so pretty. It kind of looks a lot like the shade from the Too Faced gingerbread palette that I've been looking for a dupe for. So I'm actually, once I'm done here, gonna look into that and see if maybe I can finally declutter that palette because I only use that shade. But I figured for 14 bucks, this is so, 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 so cute. I love all of these types of shades. And yeah, it's your standard ABH Norvina palette formula, just in a little mini version. I also really love this outside packaging. I love black and white stripes, so definitely something that spoke to me. I might look into getting the other mini Norvina palettes as well. Next up are the Maybelline Lifter Glosses. So these are a new release from Maybelline. They launched a huge range of shades. I have these 3 shades right now. There's one that I have my eye on. It keeps going out of stock and I don't want to like buy one thing from Ulta. I'm kind of waiting to buy multiple things from Ulta. Honestly, I'm waiting for a 20% off coupon from Ulta to drop so that I can buy like everything that I want. But these are so, so, so gorgeous. So I have the shades Pearl, the shade Topaz, and then the shade Moon. So they are kind of a more plumping gloss. They have hyaluronic acid in them. They have the giant doe foot applicator that has been really trendy. They smell like vanilla cake, kind of. They're really, really, really pretty. Let me show you what this one looks like right here. So they're cooling on the lips. They're a little bit plumping without being too aggressive. They don't burn by any means. My only like issue with them is this right here. You have to work really hard to get the top on because it kind of resists and wants to pop back up, but that's fine. So that's the shade Moon right there. This is the shade Topaz, kind of just like a warmer, kind of bronzy shade. And then this one right here is the shade Pearl, just kind of a clear with a silvery reflect to it. I think that these glosses are absolutely fucking amazing. They feel so good on the lips. They're not sticky, they don't do that weird line thing. They just feel really, really good on the lips, and they give a nice light plumping to them, kind of fill in any lines that you may have in your lips. They're affordable. Honestly, I need to look into it, but I think Moon might be a dupe for Fenty Fussy. I highly, highly recommend. If you get one thing from this collection of things that I'm telling you about, the Maybelline glosses are the ones that I would recommend that you run out and go buy because they are so, so, so good. Next up are the Tarte Chrome Paint Pots. This is in the shade Wild at Heart, and then this one is in, let me get the little plastic thing out of there. This one is in the shade Sun Drench. Let me take the lid off of this one as well. I'm so confused because it says that these are the same size. I guess they are the same size, just the packaging of this one is so much smaller than the packaging on this one. I don't know why I mean, I prefer the smaller packaging. I just don't know why this one's in such large, like heavy glass packaging. But these are just single shadows. They're shimmers, and they're kind of, I don't know how to describe them. They're kind of bouncy. They're drier than like your ColourPop Super Shock shadow. They kind of have that same punch to them that the ColourPop Super Shocks do. This is what they look like. They're very, very, very shiny. They're clearly a powder, but they feel like a cream. They're a really, really interesting texture, but that is what they look like. They're so, so, so pretty. I really just love like really punchy, aggressive shimmers. Last but certainly not least for my favorites, and these are my absolute favorite, like top thing from the months of July and August, is the Pure and Raw Beauty Kristi collection. So the palette and then the 2 lashes as well. I'll start with lashes since they're in my hand. These lashes are absolutely amazing. They are really light. They have a really thin band. So they don't feel heavy on the eyes while they still have a lot of drama to them. They're really, really, really pretty. I adore these. I bought backups on the pre-order, and then one day I was looking at Ulta, and Ulta had like a 4x, I think it was, maybe it was 10x. They had a point multiplier on certain products, and strangely enough these were part of them, so I bought even more backups of these because I don't ever want to be without these lashes. I think they're perfect. And then the palette is just, this palette is everything. So one side is the colorful side, and then the other side is the more neutral side. I will link all 3 videos that I used the palette and the lashes in the eye and down below so that you guys can see the palette in action, see the lashes on my eyes, see everything. But like I said, top favorite for the past 2 months would have to be this collection. This collection, first of all, broke the internet, but the formula of the palette, the quality of the palette, the colors that she chose, everything, the marketing for it, everything was absolutely stunning. So perfect. I am so happy to have it and get to continue to use it. So happy about it. But yeah, definitely top favorite of the past 2 months. Now, let's talk about some flops. So I only have 3, kind of 2.5. I don't know why I keep having these like half flops. The first one I don't actually have because I did return it, but that is the ColourPop Pretty Fresh foundation. First thing, the shade that I got was so absolutely not my shade, but for me and my skin, I felt that that foundation just was not made for me. It broke down really easily on my skin. It didn't cover what I needed it to cover. It just sat a little weird in certain places. It just wasn't made for my skin. I know that I've heard that a lot of people absolutely love it, and if you love it, that's awesome. It just wasn't made for me, and that's totally fine. Second flop is the NYX Epic Wear Liners. Now, as you may or may not know, the NYX Epic Ink Liner, so the pen liner, is one of my absolute favorite liquid liners. I only use 2 different ones, and that one is my ride or die. The NYX Epic Wear Liners are a different story. So I did just recently upload a video where I did use this, and I will link that down below. But this is not that good. The formula of it is very, very, very thick. It is really hard to work with. The brush tip is almost too flimsy in a weird way and too thin. It just makes it kind of hard to draw with. But the formula is really the issue. It's really thick and you can feel it on your eyes when it dries, and it just was not good. I do not recommend. I have Halloween looks planned that I feel like I'm gonna end up having to use this, and I'm not super excited about that, but gotta do what you gotta do. And then last but not least, my kind of half flop is the e.l.f. CBD eye cream. So this has 50 milligrams of CBD in it. I can say that I have not been using this for long enough to see if the CBD actually has any sort of an effect on my under eyes. If I'm being completely honest with you, when it comes to my nighttime skincare routine, I am so lazy. I'm really working on getting back into it. I used to be so good at doing it every single night, and then just this year happened, honestly, and I can't be bothered most nights. That's mostly why it's a half flop, because I am going to keep using it to see if the CBD has any sort of effect on my under eyes. The reason why it's a flop for me is it burns. Like, you know when you get a concealer that is a little bit too drying, or your under eyes are a little bit too dry and it kind of burns when you put it on? That's how this feels. I don't know what's in this that makes it burn. I don't think it's the CBD, because I have other CBD like body care products and CBD skincare products that I will take all the way up underneath my eyes. So I know it's not my skin reacting to the CBD. It's something else that's in this. It does go away pretty quickly once it absorbs. If you have sensitive skin, definitely something to keep in mind. Maybe just avoid this altogether. I don't know about the other products in the CBD line, so I can't speak to those, but when it comes to this, if you have sensitive eyes, maybe avoid that. Alright, so that is going to wrap everything up for me today. Those were all of my favorites and my flops from the months of July and August. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. It would mean the world to me. Like this video if you liked it, ring the bell, do all the things. I hope that you guys have an awesome, awesome, awesome day, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!